What's up, YouTube? The other day I put up a video entitled Uncharted 4 Going to PC. And in the video, I was talking about how I don't like PC. And I vaguely went over the reasons why I don't want to go to PC. There's nothing that can make me go to PC. Well, boy, did that piss off a lot of PC dudes, man. It really pissed them off. And I'm like, why can't I just not want a PC? Why can't I just be honest about my opinion on PC? And no matter what, no matter what reason I gave them, it wasn't good enough because they just can't understand my logic. And I don't think that a PC gamer would understand my logic as a gamer. You know why? Because I think to really appreciate PC, one of the biggest strong points with PC is that there is no limits to what you can do regarding how you want to play your game. You can toggle with all kinds of settings, resolution, textures, frame rates. I mean, you name it. Like, you could do all of that stuff. Like, it's a ton of things you could do. As far as building a PC, you can get all kinds of off-the-shelf parts, build your own. You can even buy one pre-built. You can hook it up to a TV. You can use your own controller with it. An Xbox 360 controller, I think an Xbox One, and a DualSense and a DualShock. Like, you could use a ton of different controllers. It's a whole bunch of options with PC. If PC had its own exclusives, I ain't gonna say it would dominate, but it would definitely. And actually, it does have its own exclusives. I mean, I see the perks. Put it like this: I see the perks that come with PC gaming. I mean, all the way down to free online play. Like, I see all the benefits. But PC gaming just not for me. And they've made it where it's simple now with auto settings and all that. I get all that. I get it. But that's just a platform that I just don't want to play on. I just don't. There's a ton of reasons why. Even with them making things a lot more simple than they used to be when it comes to PC gaming, doesn't mean that you don't get snags. You don't run into snags. You don't run into issues and all of that stuff. It happens. I'm not going to say anything about updates and all that stuff because, consoles update all the time. And it can be annoying. It really can. Because they update frequently, especially certain games. Patches and stuff, always an update, software updates. I get all that stuff, right? So I'm not tripping on that stuff. I'm not. But when it comes to certain settings, making sure stuff is compatible. Most people, especially like when you gaming competitively, Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever, you want to game on a monitor. You don't want to game on a big screen TV. You want to game on a high refresh rate monitor to give yourself the best chance you can get to compete. Because if you play it, let's say I got a PC and I put it up to my TV like I would do a console. I still got to deal with the input lag and all of that stuff when it comes with the TV, the latency and stuff. And then on top of that, I'm gaming on a much bigger screen, which means my latency is going to even be worse. Which means I'm gonna get ripped up. I'm gonna get destroyed. And that's not. I don't want to play like that. I want to game on the biggest screen that I could possibly game on. And I play Call of Duty good enough on my big 65-inch TV that I would be playing on an 85-inch if I had the room. I just don't got the room. I'll be sitting in front of an 85. My dream is a game on a movie screen. If I could hook up a game system on a screen like the big as the drive-in, and play games like that. That probably would be horrible as far as like input latency, but I still would like to see what that would look like. But anyways, these PC dudes destroyed me. Destroyed me. Your answer is not good enough. This and that and this. You know you could do this. I mean, they were legit trying to convince me on PC gaming. I don't want to do PC gaming. I know what it has to offer. I just don't want that. I want simplicity. Nothing gets more simple than plug and play. Nothing gets more simple than going to the store, buying the game, sticking it in the system, and playing it, or downloading the system from the Peasant store or the Xbox store, whatever, and playing it. Playing it. There is no configurations. There's no toggling with stuff. And that's another thing. I don't prioritize frame rates and resolutions and stuff. I don't prioritize that stuff. That's not a priority to me. I'm not going to say frame rates ain't important, because it is, but at the same time, I'm not prioritizing it. And I'm not necessarily saying PC gamers are. But I do have the impression that PC gamers prioritize performance more so than console gamers. Really. 30 frames per second do not bother me at all on majority of games. It doesn't. There are some games, yes, I need 60 frames a second. I agree. And I do think frames are important. So I'm not going to discount that at all. But 60 frames on every game, to me, ain't necessary. My experiences with 30 frames a second games on a PS4 has been absolutely explosive. Top notch. Unrivaled on 30 frames a second. So no, I don't need I don't need 60 frames a second on every single game. No, I do not. I don't. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not that type of guy where I need frames. There's some people that won't even play a game if it's running at 30 frames a second. Sounds like prioritizing frames, if you ask me. Frames over games. That's all I'm going to say. So no. Resolution. No. Resolution ain't enough. If I put it like this, if I knew that the PS4 Pro was just more so a resolution bump more than anything, I don't even know if I'd have bought it. I don't even know if I'd have bought that. Same with the Xbox One X. I don't even know if I'd have bought it. Underwhelmed? Basically, yes. I was underwhelmed by the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. And when I mean underwhelmed is I'm expecting night and day differences when playing games. And I mean, for the most part, when it comes to resolution, there was a night and day difference, I would say. But something that I felt it wasn't a priority to me. Not over the games themselves. I could have enjoyed myself no problem with the games themselves. So no, I'm not that type of guy. I like to play games. I like to buy a system, pop a game in and play it. That's what I like. Whatever the dev intended for the game to look like or be or whatever, or if the dev faced hardware limitations for some reason, it got nothing to do with me. I don't know what the limitations the devs had to face. I know at the end result is a lot of games that I played was absolutely amazing. 8th gen, 7th gen. I enjoyed God of War. Oh man, I enjoy Quantum Break. And I'm trying to think of games that I played on both the Xbox One and the PS4. I've enjoyed I was gonna say I enjoyed Gears 4, but it was okay. That's about as good as I can say about Gears 4. I beat that game, but it just wasn't. But I ain't gonna. If the game was more fun to play, I would have enjoyed it. It ran okay to me. I ain't had no issues with anything with Gears 4. Quantum Break I had a blast with. I thought that was amazing. Graphics was stunning. You know, I wasn't thinking about frame rates when I was playing those games. God of War, my most favorite game ever. I wasn't looking at like, oh man, this frame stutter here. What happened here? Like, I'm not thinking about that. Don't even care. So yeah, man, that's just my take. And yeah, realistically, who's getting a PC and sticking it right alongside the TV and hooking the controller up and playing it like a console, like, and trying to treat a PC like a console? Who's really doing that? I don't see nobody doing that. I can't even see myself doing something like that. I can't. It's nothing that interests me about that. And like I said, to play multiplayer games, especially Call of Duty, because I like Call of Duty, to be competitive, I feel like I would need a mouse and keyboard. And I'm definitely not about to do no mouse and keyboard. I'm a console gamer through and through. I know what I like. I'm not trying to convince myself. If I was remotely interested in PC, I would have gave it a try a long time ago. Because I get the appeal. That's the crazy part. I get the appeal of a PC. I get the appeal of it. I understand why people love PC gaming. It's cool. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to you and say it ain't cool. It's trash. It's corny. It's this and that. No, I get it. But the stuff that attracts PC gamers don't attract me. I don't prioritize certain things when it comes to games. I'm not looking at how a game's running. I'm not staring at textures on a screen. The only time I'm looking, I notice some bad textures is if the textures are really bad. That's when I notice. But I'm not out here like where it's like I'm not that guy. I'm just not that kind of guy. If a game looks good to me and it's fun, I'm good. For all I care, for Horizon Forbidden West could run at 30 frames a second. If that's what if yesterday showing was the final product, I'm sold. I'm not going to worry about if it's at 60 frames. If it gets 60 frames, cool. If it don't, cool. I tell you what though, when I got the 60 frame option on the PS4 Pro, I never toggled with none of them switches and put them on 60 frames. None of those games. None of them. I played them at 30 frames straight out the box. Start the game, then toggle with nothing. The only time I toggle with any kind of settings is right before the game start, and it have you play with the color. If this box is too light, darken it. If it's too dark, lighten it. That's all. It was something that I had to. It was no getting around that. I had to play with it, or you got to move the screen. The little lines are over the screen and make it fit the whole screen, and then. That's the only time I had to do that. But other than that, I'm not going into any options or anything and toggling with nothing. I'm not. I'm going to play it. That's it. That's it. That's all I want to say, man. PC gaming ain't for me. It's not. It's not. It's just not for me. Nothing about PC gaming appeals to me. Especially if I'm getting something comparable on a console. Something that can look just as good on a console to me through my eyeballs. I wear glasses. So I damn sure ain't trying to pixel people. I got glasses on. I definitely ain't trying to do that. I'm not looking for frames. I'm not playing with a little monitor to tell me what my frame rate is. I'm not staring at a frame rate while I'm playing a game. And if you, look, I feel like this too. If you need one of those little things on the top of the screen or whatever to show you what the frame rates is doing, what are you playing? Are you playing the frame or are you playing the games? At least that's how I'm looking at it. But look, man, I'm just a console peasant. That's what I am. I'm a console peasant. And naturally, I'm not going to worry about frames. I'm not going to worry about pixels. I'm not going to worry about resolutions. I'm not going to worry about power. I'm not going to worry about none of that. The only time I'll be concerned is if it's running horribly bad where I just can't play it. And when I mean horribly bad, frame rate got to drop down to like 23 frames a second before I'd be like, oh man, this is tough. It's not a lot of games like that. It's not a lot of games that did that. The only one that I can think of that stuck out to me most that did that was Just Cause 3. And it got ridiculous at times where it would, when you're blowing up stuff and it slowed down to like 25 frames. I think it dropped down to low as like 22, 23 frames. But then it went right back up after explosions. And even then, it didn't bother me that bad. Where I'm like, oh, no, I can't. No, it didn't do none of that stuff for me. It just did not. 16 minutes, long enough, man. I'm just saying, bro. And I probably forgot some things about PC gaming. But look, there's nothing that you can tell me that's going to make me be like, oh, let me try it. It's just not. I was open to it, at least I thought I was, until I just realized, like, no, you know what? This ain't for me. It's just not. I'm a console gamer through and through. I'll play on console and I'll play on arcades. I won't play on my phone unless it's something I'm trying to get through a Walmart line or something and I want to kill some time, tap baseball or something. I'll do something like that and then and that's it. But I'm not playing games on a computer and I'm not playing games on my phone. I'm not playing games that way. That's it. And that's all. Rome, I'm gone.